Hey, YouTube fans, I'm back with some more great content about traffic ticket defense. And if you wouldn't mind, please subscribe to the channel so you get notifications when more content comes out. I always like creating great content for people. And share this with your friends. It's valuable information. If you ever drive for a living, you get a traffic ticket, you need to know what to do and how to handle it, even if you don't hire a lawyer like me and my law firm. But today, a guy called me a couple days ago, and this is like a cautionary tale. He had a CDL. He was driving for a company, and this is a typical situation where he's pulled over and given equipment violation tickets. In his case, it was like unregistered, uninsured, I think an inspection sticker. These are all things that really are not his problem in a way. He didn't do it per se. It was equipment violations. So what he did was what a lot of people do. He gave it to his boss to handle. He said, "Well, I wasn't speeding. It wasn't a moving violation. You should have had this up to speed." From a practical standpoint, that makes a lot of sense, but you can't do it, and here's why. You got to pay attention to who the defendant is on the ticket. Oftentimes, the cops will make the company the defendant, and oftentimes they won't. The company really should be the defendant, especially in a commercial situation where it's a commercial vehicle with a commercial driver. But a lot of cops don't know it, or they don't care. Who knows? If the company's the defendant, you just give them to the company. It doesn't matter. You're not the defendant. You don't have to answer the tickets. But even if the company is responsible for the mistakes that were made with the equipment, if you're the defendant, as far as the government is concerned, as far as the court's concerned, you're it. And this guy did what typically happens. Gave it to his boss, and then shortly thereafter he left the company and never followed up on it, never did anything. And then he found out his license was suspended for not answering the tickets. And in his case, it's a really, really good thing because he was charged, one of the charges was driving without insurance. Had his boss pled him guilty, just paid it off, his license would have been revoked for at least a year. He had a regulatory suspension for not answering the tickets. So all you have to do is answer them, and they restored his driving privileges. But now the question is, well, why do I have to deal with this? Do I go to court? I'm like, yeah, you have to go to court because you're the defendant, not the company. Even though it's the company's fault, you got to deal with this. And he was ticked off about it, but that's the way it is. So if you work for somebody, you're not driving your vehicle. You're driving an employer's vehicle for hire, and you get equipment violations. You gotta look to see who's the defendant. If you're the defendant, it's on you. Now your boss can reimburse you or whatever. Don't just give it to your boss to handle, because even if they get a lawyer to represent you, they're gonna get the lowest bidder. They're not gonna get a guy that specializes in it, doesn't really care that much. This is your career on the line. It's your driving, that sliver of plastic in your wallet. If you drive for a living, that's the food on your table. You need to hire your own lawyer. You need to find your own lawyer, or at least if the company hires a lawyer, know who the person is, talk to them, and be comfortable that they're competent in handling your case. And don't just let anyone blindly plead you guilty to, because it goes on your record. Especially if you have a commercial driver's license. It gets reported, all violations get reported to the Federal Motor Carriers Administration, which have their own CSA. It's a Compliance Safety Administration point system. It's a point system above and beyond the DMV's point system. And you could be gigged like a low pressure in a tire for a commercial driver. That could be 4 CSA points. That's a lot of CSA points. It's not going to go on your regular driving record, but it's going to be accrued to your CDL driving record in the federal system. So you got to be very, very careful. Even if it's just supposedly a minor, what is a minor equipment violation, like uninspected, for a regular motor vehicle, a regular passenger motor vehicle, it could be a huge problem if it's on a commercial vehicle and you're the defendant. Again, if you're not the defendant, give them to your boss. It's not your problem. But if you're the defendant, you're it. You got to handle the tickets. So don't just give them to your boss, because he might just handle them by checking off guilty and mailing it into the court. And then you might find out that triggered a suspension of your license, or that triggered you to be uninsurable as a commercial driver to him or to that firm or another firm, and your license didn't get suspended, but they can't insure you, and no one's going to insure you for a period of time. So now you're out of work for a year or 2 years until this thing comes off your record. Of course, that ever happens to you as a commercial driver, or if you ever are found guilty of something that caused very serious collateral consequences, you could always call us. We can get it reversed. We can always reverse convictions by doing a quorum nobis proceeding. And I'll link this video to one that I did for somebody. But it costs you a lot more money, a lot more uncertainty, a lot more time, and until you get it reversed, it could take 2-3 months, to bring this motion. Until you get it reversed, you're out of work, you're out of luck. So that's the video today. You get a ticket in an employer's vehicle, you're the defendant, no matter what the charges are. If it's equipment violations, you have to handle them. Don't give it to your boss. It's Mike Palumbo, AttackThatTicket.com. Thanks for watching, and share, like, and subscribe. That's all I can say. Talk to you again.